In my last exhibition, in my last sculpture, it was the first time that I started to bring people inside the sculpture. It still wasn't like dancer. It was just everyone who wanted to go inside, and it started because I was working on the prototype and creating this work that was relating to tomb, to a tomb of someone who died like in 800 years ago or something. But then my grandmother died, and I was very close to my grandmother, and she's a very important person in my life. So I couldn't just create a tomb, you know. I had to be very specific because it was something about, how do you say, when you're like, it was part of my grief. So I created the tomb, I created the hole in her size. I had to go inside of it because it was like a part of my my way of saying goodbye to her, and people saw it because a friend of mine did the photo, and then they wanted to go inside. So that was the first time I realized that it's not just an idea of going inside or something that you look from far away and thinking of touching and going inside. It's like really something that you're supposed to go inside. It's like it was a revelation. Since I was a dancer, so it was very natural for me to create a dance. And I didn't think it will become a whole dance. I thought we will just make a research. But somehow it was very, I don't want to say easy, but it was very natural to the body, to the dancer, to me. So in the end, we created a one-hour show. We were 4 dancers, like 3 professional dancer and me, that I didn't dance for a really long time.
You went to New York for your dancing, right?
Yes, but that was like, I was doing ballet. It was long time ago, like 12 years ago. It's because of 2 main things. One, that I really hurt my knees, like kind of finished everything inside, you know, with the point shoes. So I was injured. And the second was that I was very determined, but in a very stupid way, on only doing ballet. It was ballet or to die. So I stopped dancing. It's very hard to be an artist. Like, the government doesn't give you help, and even as a student, they don't really help you, and so...
Well, but if they don't help you, like, do you feel supported by the government? Do you feel...
No.
No? Why not?
No. Do I feel supported?
Yeah.
No, they didn't support me. They don't support me. Maybe Tel Aviv municipality is a bit supporting, like a bit. Maybe the taxes of the space, if you prove you're an artist, so they make it a bit lower. But like, this is it. You don't get nothing else. And in Israel, we have only one big scholarship for young emerging artists. But only like 6 people get it by a year, and it's only for 1 year, and then afterwards you're not helped by no one. The government it's like, or that they don't care what we do, or that they care but in the bad way and on the sensorized side of it. And if you're doing political art, and if you're saying something bad about Israel or criticizing the army, then they care. I have a lot of problem with the way they deals with art and supporting or not supporting. And, you know, I think they're really trying to create one voice of culture. They're really trying to make this place based on a one-liner, you know? They shut everything else. It's not pluralist.
If you can change anything in this art scene and art policy, is that the thing you would change?
That's so hard. I don't know, you know?
Too much.
It's so many. Because it's also like thinking what the art world needs to change and what Israel government need to change. And I think both of them need to change.
Yeah.
I think both of them are quite close. And like having like one voice that should be like the right voice or something. And
In a perfect world, how would it look like?
so of course, like, you know, if we go to the big picture, I would love to change the fact that we did this law that the culture, like art in Israel, should support Israel and never criticize it. And then if it criticizing it, even just as a question, so that you don't get budget, like films or theater or dance. So of course, I think this in the big picture, it's like, it's really horrible because it's going really toward fascism, you know, like a place that you cannot ask question, and art is a place that the whole idea is to ask the question, to bring up question, not necessarily answer them, but try to figure out what is the reality you're living in and why, and do you think it's okay, or, you know, or you're against it? What's your position? And if you cannot ask question anymore, so you live in a very dark place. I think, like, for me, the most important thing about art is that it keep our sensitivity alive. I'm truly sad because I feel the country, people in this country are losing it, the sensitivity, and they become very violent, and you can see it in the way people talk to each other in the street. You can see it in the way people drive. You can see it the way people treat the waitress. It doesn't matter. It's not like people think if they do it in one place, which is okay by them, in the army, or by law of the government, it's one thing. But they think like when they shut the door and go home, oh, they will be so sensitive and caring and, you know, amazing person. And it doesn't work that way. And I think we're corrupting, you know, the heart of the people. I don't know how much power art can have, but it can, I believe it really helps to keep it alive a bit more, you know. So